Did it put you on here? Let me see. I'm trying to. There you are.
Yes. Hello, Christina. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you.
This is good. I love your top. It is so cute.
Thank you. It's a blazer.
Oh, that's really cute. Is it like a dress?
It's kind of long, but I mean I'm kind of a little tall. I don't think I could wear it as a dress.
Oh, okay. So you got like pants underneath it?
I sure do.
Okay,
Did you
cool.
hear about that ABC correspondent that
No, what happened?
he only had his suit on up top and he was doing an interview on Good Morning America? And they somehow like zoomed out and you could clearly see he was only wearing boxers underneath.
What?
And so he was like, I'm so embarrassed,
Oh no.
blah, 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 blah. So,
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us
oh,
today
fun.
and doing this live here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can y'all
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, so thank you for
Okay.
joining us today on this live. So I want to go ahead and jump in and get started. And so what I want our community to know a little bit more about your story, a little bit more about you, Bianca, because I feel like the more people can hear our stories, especially for girls who look like us or women who look like
Right.
us, it's a little more easier for us to be able to connect to the story versus any other woman who might be able to speak to us, because we all come from a culture that is a beautiful culture.
For
We
sure.
all kind of come from the same kind of background. And especially since you're first generation, right? Because I'm first
Yes.
generation too. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So first generation, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, I feel like there's so much that they could learn and that you could speak on to these girls and to these women. So
Absolutely.
can you tell us a little bit about your beautiful journey in coming to be where you are, what inspired you to get that, want to be there, what motivated you to want to pursue this career, what maybe sparked inside of you the drive to continue to do this, so, some of these things.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
You can
Okay.
take it little by little.
Yes, yes. Well, I was born and raised in Corpus Christi. As you mentioned, I'm first generation. My dad was born in Mexico and, came over here as a little boy. He was about 5 years old, completely didn't know any English whatsoever. And he turned out to be a really incredible businessman, which is a great story in and of itself. And my mom, she's been here in the United States forever. And, I just had really amazing parents who, from the beginning of time, they always expected excellence from me. I think as Hispanic children, we all know what that means, like bring in the good grades, work hard, don't get in trouble, stay out of trouble. That was very big, and just reach for the stars. And I think for me, as a mother to a young daughter, I think one of the biggest things my parents blessed me with was confidence. They've never, when I said I wanted to be a lawyer, they were never like, I don't know, maybe you should be like a paralegal instead. Or not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Right.
they encouraged that. They believed that. And they're like, you could do it. Totally. And little did I know, I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. So a lot of the things I had to kind of do on my own because, as much as they wanted to help me, they didn't really have that experience. They didn't know, like, okay, you have to take the SAT, you have to get a good score, or, like how to really get you ready for college. So I was just always a curious cat, and I would always just study everything that I needed to do to get from being, a young high school student all the way into law school to become a lawyer. So, to all the girls out there that really don't have that roadmap, you just got to look into it. And like I said, that's why I like speaking with you guys to kind of explain, like, be that voice to say, you know what, you could do it. You could go to law school, and me kind of explain that because I didn't have that. I didn't have someone to say, okay, this is what you need to get into law school, to become a lawyer and all of that. So it was really cool.
So do you think your drive for wanting to become a lawyer is what really sparked your curiosity?
It did. It did. I've always wanted to be a lawyer from the beginning. You know, I grew up around lawyers. My dad worked for lawyers. And so just seeing the change that they could do for someone and the amount of work, like just seeing what their work did really inspired me. You know, like I'm a personal injury attorney, and people need you at their weakest moments. They call you at their weakest moments. Either they've been involved in a very serious accident where they can't even work anymore, support their family, and they have all these questions like, what can I do? Or even, you know, I've represented people who have lost loved ones. I mean, just imagine losing your spouse, you know, the breadwinner of your family overnight, and your life is left in shambles. So just seeing that ability to kind of help someone who is at their weakest moment and just do whatever I can to get them justice, to make sure an accident like this, it may happen again, but to just try to reduce those accidents, because you'll be surprised what these big corporations do to cut corners and not protect either their workers or, you know, make safe products, or, you know, there's just so many different, or, you know, even train their employees, like these 18-wheeler drivers, you know. So there's just a lot of holes that the big corporations don't always follow, and they result in injuries. And so that's kind of where, you know, my drive to change the world in that small way and help, you know, get a family back together, or try and, you know, give them the compensation they need to move on with their life the best way that they can.
That's awesome. I want to go back to what you had previously
Mm-hmm.
said about you wanting to become a lawyer and you really not having that guidance
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, someone could go before you and show you that way to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, become a lawyer. So can you give me a little insight into what it is that you, did you have a vision board, or did you vision these goals for yourself? How was it that you know, give me a little insight into the process of what, you know, led you to staying on track, to staying
Mm-hmm.
focused, and, you know, continuing on that path to finish your degree?
Yeah, so getting a law degree, like looking back, I just realized how many steps it takes. I think I really just took things one step at a time. And I think that's the biggest thing, because if you start to think about the big picture of, okay, I got to do well in high school, I got to get good grades, and, you know, college, then LSAT, then law school, then passing law school, taking the bar exam, it gets very overwhelming. So I guess like I said, I just took it in baby steps, and I'm like, okay, I made it this far. Okay, now what's the next step? And I just always had that in my mind. I knew how to do well in school. I mean, that's step one.
Right.
And so, you know, I would do whatever I could to make sure I got those good grades, whether it was, you know, extra credit, or, you know, just doing the best I could to get that 4.0 in high school. And
So okay, I want to go in there.
yeah.
So okay, so your parents are not really aware of the process that you had
No.
to go through in college. So can you tell me a little bit of, you know, how did you said you were very confident. You're very confident in, you know, your ability and what you
Yes.
were trying to do. Were there ever moments where you felt like you were inadequate or not enough, or didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't belong here, or you shouldn't even try to do this?
Absolutely. I would say every level of my education, I kind of felt that way. Like in high school, there was probably, I went to a Catholic high school, and it was super competitive. Like people would cry if they got a 95. And so for me in high school, I didn't really feel I was very smart, because there was just so many smart people at that school. And so, but then again, once I went to college, I realized, hey, you know, I'm doing really well in college. So that was really kind of that moment where I really felt confident in myself as in academics. And so I was able to get scholarships to college and also to law school. But then law school, I mean, I have a great story for that. Um, my first semester, I came in from St. Mary's. I was, on the dean's list all the time. I had a very high GPA, kind of had a little bit of a big head. And so my first semester, I thought studying for college is the same as studying for law school, and it's clearly wrong. And I kind of procrastinated, and I did horrible my first semester. Absolutely horrible. I literally almost flunked out. I had teachers tell me I'm wasting my money and that law is probably not for me. And that was a huge moment for me where I had to look inside and say, you know what, are these voices true? Should I believe these people, these professors who are professionals who teach kids or college students all the time and take them at their word and drop out? That was really a big moment for me. But there goes that confident Bianca again, the one that you tell me no, and I turn those all to yeses. So I had one more chance. That following semester, they made me sign a paper saying if I don't do better, the following semester I had to get like a 3.0, which is hard in law school, that I would have to drop out and wait 2 years and take the LSAT again, basically start over from scratch.
Wow.
Yes. So luckily, I reached out to teachers and professors, and I found a way to study. And I'm kind of happy that happened, because it taught me that I can really overcome anything. Because, in law school, you're graded at the end of the semester. You only take one test, and that's your grade for that semester. So there's no room for error. And that's for every class. And so, I overcame that. I got that GPA that I needed to stay in law school, and I just had to coast it out, because if my GPA hit back down again, I could get kicked out anytime. So it was really something that I had to make sure I got my, my grades right. And like I said, I'm glad that happened, because I was able to learn a new way of studying that I think has helped me as a lawyer. And I ended up passing the Texas bar exam the first time. Then I took the California bar exam, which is like one of the hardest bar exams to pass, and I passed that the first time. So to that professor who told me I'm wasting my time and that I'll probably never pass the bar exam, wow, you were wrong.
And was that here in Texas?
Yes,
oh
here in Houston.
Here in Houston, what
yes. school? South Texas. I love that school. They did great, but just the first semester I was sweating like you wouldn't believe. It was a terrible situation, terrible time, but here we are now.
So what would be some first steps that you would ask or you would tell a first generation student who is trying to go into college and like you, has no guidance, just wants a drive, wants a desire to become someone, to be someone in life, and wants to, pursue law? What would you recommend, like some 3 steps that they could take, or maybe something that they can do?
What I would do is I would have them, reach out to a lawyer, especially maybe even a Hispanic lawyer. There's plenty of us out there that are willing to help, and just sit down with them, take them out to breakfast and just ask about their journey, and to make sure this is something for you, because being a lawyer is a very stressful position. It's not the most, relaxing job, but it is also very rewarding. Because last thing you want to do is go through the whole process of law school and, realize, hey, this isn't for me, because it's a pretty expensive degree. And then secondly, I would intern for somebody. If your meeting goes well and you like what you hear and you think, hey, I can do this, I can, do all the steps it takes to be a lawyer, then intern for someone. You may have to do it for free, and that's okay. Even if it's a 1 month long internship with a lawyer who practices something that similar to what you would want to do, I think that's great too, to make sure, okay, this is really for me. And number 3, I think you really need to make sure you're a disciplined individual, because if you're someone who starts something and doesn't finish it, the law will not, it's not for you. Law school would not be for you, because it's just something that you have to commit to and really make a lot of sacrifices.
So Pretty Smart is in its first year. This is coming up, second year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But we are also going to be adding a mentorship program. Maybe that's something you would be interested in, and actually mentoring some pretty smart Latinas here in the community
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
who want to be
Yes.
lawyers. Yes.
Yes, I
Because I
would
feel
love to
like,
do that.
because
I've had a
definitely,
lot of great mentors, and I need to, pass it on,
tell me,
pay it back.
that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your mentors and what did you gain from your mentorship? Why do you believe we do need mentors? Because we really do need them. And I feel like our community is not aware how important a mentor is in a young person, adolescent's life.
It is. Well, I didn't really have, a Hispanic mentor. Like I said, I didn't really grow up knowing too many Hispanic lawyers, especially Latinas. But I do remember my boss from the firm that I worked for 5 years. He was my biggest mentor and will always be my biggest mentor. He really taught me more, not just how to be a lawyer and to, learn how to legal write and respond to all these motions, but it was also to like the character that you have and the emotional intelligence you have to have, because there's going to be days where you just want to like give up. But, he really taught me how to like ride out the waves and just trust the process, that your case will resolve the way it should be. As long as you work hard and put in the work and are honest with your clients, you really build that relationship. So just seeing how he responded to difficult situations has really helped me in my law practice, and seeing how he treated his employees has helped me as well. Just seeing someone do the work is great. And I'll never forget too, his wife is a lawyer too, and just meeting her when she would walk into our house when I was a little girl, it was like a female attorney. Like it was just really cool, and she was so bubbly and always encouraged me. So they were really important in my life, and they still are.
Do you believe emotional intelligence is something that you are born with, you learn as you go, or is it something that you feel like you're still working on? Because I feel like as an emotional intelligence, I'm still working on it myself as well,
Mm-hmm.
as a business owner, as
Yes.
a founder of a nonprofit. It's
Yes,
still
it's a lot.
something. It is. It's a big.
Mhm.
It's something that we have to learn. What is emotional intelligence to you?
Yes, emotional intelligence is definitely something you learn. It's when, your back is up against the wall in a case, and or just in life, and you want to react, or someone's being rude to you or treating you unfairly, and the first thing you want to do is react and cuss them out, or you know teach them a lesson. But emotional intelligence is more like playing chess. Like, okay, take one for the team, or you just suck it up, and then you get them in the end. It's just more of just taking things a day at a time and not reacting to everything that's thrown your way, and taking the time to think about a decision. Where sometimes you'll hear like this news, and you're like, oh, I need to get on the phone and tell somebody about it or tell them off. No, take the time, sleep on it, then call them and address the issue. So I really think that's kind of what emotional intelligence is just taking it all in, thinking about how you're going to react.
That's really awesome. That's really great advice. Definitely.
Yes.
So now that you own your own law firm and you've gone through the whole, you figured out, you went on your journey, you were determined, you were confident in your ability, and you became an attorney, and then now you own your own law
Mm-hmm.
firm. So can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a Latina um, female attorney who has her own law firm?
It's great. It's kind of mind boggling, like how you just explained it. It's like, wow, I'm living my dream. Um, I think it just has given me this great platform, to speak to individuals like yourself and to inspire the younger generation. I hope to kind of be that face to the younger generation, be like, you know what? It's like Bianca, if she did it, I can do it. And just hoping to just be that one extra person that's added to the statistic that changes the face of the legal community, because it's you don't see too many of us. And, you know, we hope to just be that one extra example.
Yeah, definitely. I hope you stay as the example as you continue to grow and you go further in your career. How has it been just managing your career, your brand, and your family?
Wow. It's been very challenging. You know, like I said, I worked for a big firm for 5 years and I had an amazing career as a litigator, and I had to give that up because I couldn't be a mom to two young kids and be a wife and a great lawyer all at the same time. So opening up my own firm allows me to, you know, be more selective with my time, you know, not have to be at the office every single day and still do the same amount of work. Um, you know, one thing that this whole quarantine has taught me is that, you know, all I need is my laptop and my phone, and I can still be at home with the kids running around behind me, but still working and still be present with them. So that has really opened up a lot more time with my kids. And now I can, you know, stop what I'm doing and go, you know, well, not right now, but drop off my daughter at swim class and enjoy that with her, and kind of be more selective on what dates I'm going to go to the office or what dates I'm going to go to, you know, court. And of course, you know, we can't always plan everything out, but, you know, being on my own has definitely afforded more time and more flexibility in my schedule.
That's awesome. So I bet you enjoy your time with your kids right now.
Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. They're amazing, and just seeing them grow and thrive, it's really, really cool. And I'm already telling them, y'all are gonna be lawyers. We're gonna, you know, like just like my parents from day one put that in my head. Hopefully, I inspire them to become one. But if they want to do whatever, I would support them. But it's just, you know, gotta just plant that seed that they can too, you know, get a doctorate's degree and do some amazing things.
Do you think being a woman, it matters in law? Do you think that women are, there's some things that the males might get away with that, the females don't?
Yes, for sure. You know, there's been times where I've heard men just act crazy at mediations or at court hearings, throwing papers, throwing pencils, cussing, and just acting like, you see lawyers on TV, like just throwing a tantrum. But I feel if we as women did that, that would be totally unacceptable and not appreciated in the workplace or at court or anything like that. So I do think there's a double standard for sure. But, you know, also too, luckily for me, I've always worked around men who have been very respectful, and I've never felt, any sort of, with the Me Too movement, I've been very fortunate to have not worked around men like that kind of try and work some deals out in exchange for other things. So,
Right.
but I do know it happens.
So there has been also a record of statistics that women in law, especially Latinas in law, there's a wage gap between, a Latina wage gap.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wage gap with men in general, but the Latina wage gap as well. Do you see that Latina wage gap in law as well?
I think I'm kind of the Latinas that I know who are lawyers, they make very good money because they work very, very hard and they're brilliant attorneys. Yes.
Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Go,
And all
girl.
the ones I know make well over six figures. They've done very well for themselves. And as well as me, I was, getting paid very, very well at the other firm that I was working for, getting great bonuses, great incentives. And I was actually the associate who brought in the most business at that firm. So like I said, but you have to work hard and almost work double to kind of prove yourself sometimes.
Is there an actual, like an actual group for just Latina attorneys?
Not that I'm aware of. I know there's the Mexican Bar Association, Houston. There's a lot of Hispanic, bar associations, but none that I know of for Latinas.
Why is there a Hispanic bar association? What's that different from the actual bar?
There's like different groups within lawyers. There's the Houston Bar Association, the Texas Trial Lawyers Association. So just, for Hispanics to come together and just network and see how we can help each other and just kind of, talk about how we can help our community is what their theme is for the Houston Bar Association. I mean, the Hispanic Bar Association.
How many Latinas in law do you think are in Texas?
I'm not sure, but I read a statistic that there's only 3% of Hispanic attorneys, and then like 2% are women. Like it's just so low. But I can name the amount of Hispanic female attorneys probably that I know, and maybe one hand, if not two, but that would be stretching it.
So you want to say about maybe, well, we also can't let out San Antonio, and San Antonio has much bigger Latino population. But I would definitely be interested in finding out that statistic.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that needs to be put in writing, because it would probably not be too many.
Yeah, exactly. And I know California, are you part of any associations out there, since you're also
licensed out there? Yes. No.
Certified.
Yes. No, I'm not actually. I really did a lot of my California work for the big firm that I worked for. I was always getting to go to LA. I saw so many different parts of California that I probably would never get to see, Sacramento, Laguna Beach, all of that. But it was more of just handling cases, big cases against Ford and, I probably shouldn't have said that, but against big automotive companies. So I didn't really need to rub elbows with California lawyers, because that's not really something that I'm focused on. I'm more focused on practicing here in Houston.
Yeah, exactly. So so Bianca, how can we find you on social media? How can people get in contact with you? And then also too, we're going to keep on talking, because I would definitely love to develop that mentorship with Latina girls and with Latina women in college for the mentorship and internship as well.
I would love to do that.
Awesome. Where can they find you?
So they can find me on La Abogada Bianca, or at La Abogada Bianca, or laabogadabianca.com, or legalinfluencer.com. And I'm pretty active on there. I do my best to answer all messages. And even if you're a Spanish speaker, that's not an issue. I'm bilingual, and, let's see what the future holds. And I look forward to, hopefully inspiring some more Latina female attorneys, especially through the Pretty Smart Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely believe, you are that example, and they can't be what they can't see, but
that's a good point.
So definitely that's the mission, and that's the, the little slogan that we like to tell people when we talk to them is, girls need to be able to see people like us, people that look like us, they can relate with us, and definitely be empathetic to our culture and our situations, especially at home, whenever majority of, kids, some kids live with their grandparents, and
my grandma lived with us too. Yes, we just are so blessed with a beautiful, rich culture that's centered around family, and it's just truly incredible, and I'm just so proud to be a part of that culture.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely me too, and I'm really glad to have started Pretty Smart, so that we can really focus on our culture.
And thank you for doing this. I mean, it's huge. Y'all are going to reach a lot of young women and inspire them. And so I'm glad that you noticed that part was missing and just decided to start it on your own.
Yeah,
incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We definitely need more uplifting in our community and for the Latina woman. Because these wage gaps, we got to change those statistics.
For sure.
And we really need to come together to realize that together we're a stronger force. So yes.
Yes, we are stronger together. I think a big thing as women, sometimes we feel like we're competition, but if you're really confident and strong in your skills and what you bring to the world, you know, helping someone out doesn't hurt you. It only builds you up too. And, you know, it's just, I've met so many amazing women through just Instagram alone that are here in Houston, businesswomen, and we've all just been lifting each other up. And it's really, really beautiful to be a part of a group like that. And, you know, we're stronger together.
Yes, definitely. Well, I want to thank you once again for joining us on this live.
Well,
And
thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
And guys, stay tuned because La Abogada Bianca, you can find her on social media. La Abogada Bianca, she has some really cool t-shirts that
coming out soon.
Yeah, that she has. And then, of course, too, you guys will see her face often too as we start rolling out our mentorship program for Latina girls and young women who are interested in becoming lawyers. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina.
We'll speak again.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you to all who joined.
Bye.
Bye-bye.